Thank you. Thank you, Minister. And I have been listening to the debate, and I had hoped the Taoiseach would be here, because the last time I addressed the Taoiseach on the floor of this House, I spoke to him about the grant aid that the German government is providing for small businesses. And I mentioned a figure of 50 billion. He told me he hadn't heard that, and would I send him the information, which I've done. And I'd like to quote the German finance minister, and this is specifically what he said when he made this announcement. He said, "I want to make a crucial point." He said, "We are providing grants, not loans. Nothing has to be paid back to us. In this way, we're taking action to reach the people who urgently need our support right now." And in that context, I was asking the Taoiseach if they would look again at grant aid for small businesses, many of whom are now in the process of making decisions about whether or not they will reopen. Those who have faced, and I've said it many times in this House, a mounting wall of debt, from utility bills to insurance bills, etc., over the last couple of months, and people are now making decisions about whether or not they will reopen. I know we have some grant aid available to businesses based on rates paid, but for those who don't pay rates for very legitimate reasons, and there are many, there is no assistance, and that fund is a very small fund compared, for example, to what some of our European counterparts are paying. So that was the question that I had for the Taoiseach, and hopefully he can respond to me in writing. I just have two questions for you, Minister. At the European Council meeting, they spoke about maximum flexibility and application of the budget and state aid rules. And I just wanted to ask, what flexibility have this government shown in relation to state aid rules as far as some of our companies are concerned? And I did ask this question before of Minister Coveney. Have we done any analysis to look at whatever flexibility we have shown around state aid, how it compares with other EU countries, and are any of our companies or businesses suffering because of this? And I heard some of my colleagues earlier speaking about IAG and Aer Lingus, etc. And while I know there are issues there, I just wanted to ask if there's any possibility that the government is looking at state aid for Aer Lingus, similar perhaps, or in comparison with what the German government have done for Lufthansa. And my second question, Minister, is this new proposed recovery instrument, Next Generation EU, 750 billion, put it in with the MFF, and we're looking at about 1.85 trillion euro. It is very clear, and the Commission have spoken about this, that this will require increased own resources. I just wanted to ask, what's the view of this government on that issue of increasing own resources? Certainly over the last few years in the Parliament, it's something that we would have called for, but there was always blockages within the Council. Now, I know it's an emergency situation, but in general, if you could give me some indication as to what our view is on that issue. Thank you.